welcome to All the Right Friends with Scott Austin. I am Scott Austin, and this is my friend Lex Land.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. Thanks.
So tell me a little bit about, you've had some exciting news the past couple of weeks. You had a pretty major film, TV type sync placement thing that happened.
Yeah.
Want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, my song was on Private Practice in late November, and that was pretty exciting. Gathered around the television and heard my music on TV. That was very strange, but it was really cool.
Let's talk about the new record. How did you come to make this record? Was it a band and you guys just went in the studio, or did you get a record deal? Or
Well, I guess essentially I got a record deal, but I was in college and not really going to class very much, and just kind of was playing music with my friends sort of compulsively and just playing around Orange County, like cafes and stuff. And I happened to meet Shannon, the guy that produced my record, and we just kind of started working on the songs more intensively, and ended up recording and doing more recording, and then it just came time to kind of make it all formal. And so yeah, then just all of a sudden it was kind of out. It seems like that now, but at the time there was a lot of waiting and a lot of hard work, but I'm excited with the product, and it was a really good experience.
what's your background in music? How did you originally get started?
I was kind of interested in music all the time, didn't really know like what to do with it, and then like in middle school I think I started really getting into choir and found that I was a little bit advanced, I guess, and so I started training classically around then, and then continued to do that, and then the older I got, the more intense that got, and then so by the time I was at the end of high school, it was pretty much becoming my whole life. So I had strange dreams of maybe possibly being an opera singer, but then after about a year of college, I didn't think I could handle that anymore, because I just had gotten so into doing my music. And if you are involved at all in the classical world, you'll know that the two lines are very distinct between pop and classical music, and I knew that I couldn't really do both. So, but I had a little bit more passion for writing my own music in the end. It was the only thing I could really focus on.
What bands influenced you as a kid? You're still a kid, by the way. We just found out how old you are, and you're still a baby. But what was your first, rock experience that said, okay, this is where it's at?
My mom raised me on Prince, which is always going to be the first thing I say. And then, I was also, of course, since I was like really little, I was really into all the Disney music and all like the Broadway stuff. And then, as I got older, studying voice, I got really into, the classical music, classical vocal music, and into musicals. And then later, when I was like a preteen, my dad got me really into punk rock. So I was listening to like, Minor Threat and the Descendants, the Vandals. I was really into AFI for a long time, and then after that, I just kind of started picking up things on my own. And then, in college especially, I started really getting into old folk and roots music. I love 40s singers like Billie Holiday and Judy Garland.
What's your primary instrument? Are you primarily composing on piano or guitar, or?
Guitar, definitely. I'm a singer, so I don't know any theory on guitar, so a lot of times I'm just picking things out like chord by chord every time I write something.
Tell me about the record release. Is it available in stores, or did you do a digital release, or both?
We did a digital release March 25th, I think, and then it came out in July, I think. July, yeah. So yeah, I guess it's been doing pretty well. I'm excited about it. The iTunes thing was really successful, and God bless iTunes, because they're just so great, and they really helped me out a lot for the initial release. So thank you, iTunes.
Let's talk about touring. What sorts of artists have you played with in the past few months?
Well, I've only been on the road once, and it was over this past summer, and I went with I was opening for my friend and somewhat sort of kind of label mate Joshua James. With Shannon manages the both of us, and so I got to go on tour with him and his band, and which was really fun. I was out with them for about a month, and we did 2 different legs with 2 other artists, Justin Townes Earl and Will Daly. And it was just great fun. It was awesome. I mean, it was really rough. There was a lot of roughing it, a lot of camping, and a lot of hurt feelings and stuff. But that's always how it's gonna go, probably. I mean, I imagine. And it was awesome, and I can't wait to go back out.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What's your favorite thing to do when you're not making music, recording music, performing music?
I really am into crafting, and I know it's really kind of like a sick habit. I work at a craft store by day, and I've accumulated so much stuff and like never finish any projects. But like I love like knitting and just making random things, and just just hanging out with my friends and like getting to know as many people as I can. But yeah, I mean, music really takes over a lot of my life. So.
Did you grow up in California, or?
Yes, born and raised pretty much Orange County. Kind of moved all over the place for most of my youth, even though I'm still young. For most of my early childhood then. And then I kind of went back and forth to Yosemite because my grandparents lived there and then my mom lived there. But I ended up back in Orange County, for high school and college, and was there until about like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I moved to LA, so I've been here my whole life, which is kind of why I am so antsy to be on the road touring and stuff all the time.
Have there been any funny stories from the studio or maybe on the road that kind of stand out in your mind as something that were really unique and funny?
Nothing I should probably talk about.
I like that answer. What's your goal with your music?
Honestly, I just want to not to have a day job. I mean, besides, the thing is I'm gonna be writing and playing music my whole life, so if it gets me somewhere, that would be really cool, but I'm gonna be doing it anyway. So, I mean, there really isn't, an impossible idealism that I have about it, and I don't want to be like hugely famous. I don't want to make like a ton of money. I just want to, at least be able to, take care of myself only doing that. That's really the main goal.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to do that. This is my friend Lex Land, All the Right Friends with Scott Austin. Thanks, Lex.
Thank you so much.
Okay.